Welcome to Marketing in Minutes, where I spend a few minutes breaking down the 20% of things that generate 80% of the results in your painting or concrete coating business. Let's jump in. If you're a residential painting contractor and you are not running Google Local Services ads, you are missing a big opportunity. Local services ads show up at the very top of Google search results, even above the standard pay-per-click ad channel. More importantly, you are only paying per lead on this channel, so you're not paying for things that don't generate results like clicks and impressions. And finally, these are exclusive leads to your company that AI automatically disputes if they are unqualified, if they're calling from outside of your service area or about a service you don't offer. So this is a no-brainer. If you have a residential painting company, you must have these ads up and running. But I'm sure you have questions like, how much do they cost? How do you get these set up? And how do we manage them? Well, let's jump in. If you've not already gone through the process of getting Google Guaranteed, jump on over to Google and type in Google Local Services Ads. Click on that first search result, and it's going to drop you on a landing page that looks like this. Now, the first thing we want to do is get a baseline for how much you should expect to pay per each lead. Simply scroll down to the estimate form on this page, type in your zip code, type in the number 10 for leads. That'll make the math on the next page a little bit easier, and then select painter for your industry. Finally, click on Estimate Budget, and that's going to give you a range. Simply divide that number by 10, and it's going to be roughly what Google expects for you to pay per lead. Now here's the important part. Google is known to underinflate estimates. I would consider multiplying those numbers by 1.5 to 2 to get the true estimate of how much you should expect to spend here. So in this case, we should be looking at somewhere in the ballpark of about $25 to $50 per lead. Now the good news is that math still makes sense. Google leads are typically as close to a word of mouth or referral lead as you can get. So we should expect a set rate in the ballpark of about 70% and a close rate of about 35 to 40% here. Now to get started, we first need to check for eligibility. So you're going to click on the button that says Get Started, which is going to drop you on a form. Simply click Continue and pick your service area. Now, these ads are not available in all markets yet. Unfortunately, Canada, you are excluded from the painting category. We expect Google to get on board with that sometime soon, but for right now, these ads are only available in the United States. Now, as you jump through this form, it's going to ask you for some information about your business name, where you're located, and your target service areas. Here's the very important part. This all must match your business profile on Google because you're going to be asked to link that account together. And that business name must match the business name on a DBA paperwork or your articles of incorporation. So for example, if you have the word Inc. in your business name on your profile and it shows up that way in your articles of incorporation, well, guess what? You need to have it on your local services ads as well. Very important step. Now, Google's also going to ask you for your number of workers or number of employees. Always enter the number 0. Anything more than that, Google's going to require that you background check every single employee on your staff. Trust me, it's not worth the headache. Now, Google will likely ask you to upload things like your insurance documentation or articles of incorporation. Be prepared for some of that business paperwork. It's really important to get verified or else this profile will not get up and running. Now, when selecting a service area, the easiest way to do this is simply jump over to an AI like ChatGPT and use a prompt like this. I need a comma-delimited list of the top 10 zip codes with the highest income households within a 60-mile drive of Wilmington, North Carolina. Simply swap out how far you're interested in driving and around what service area, then simply swipe and deploy. Now, it's always good to start out small, so if you have a market with a ton of zip codes and you're willing to travel, pick the top 10. You can always add and expand your reach as time goes on. Now, a few really important points about this profile. The first is you want to make sure you complete all of the form fields. So for instance, pick your job type, make sure you turn off things like furniture painting if it's not something that you want to pay for. Next, if you notice, this particular client of ours is willing to spend up to $1,000 a week. The number one complaint that we hear from our clients is that you just simply don't get enough leads. Volume is always going to be an issue. It's because we are shopping bottom of funnel. Again, these leads are extremely high quality, so they're the leads that everybody else wants. And for every one homeowner that's interested in repainting their house today, there are generally 10 to 20 people who are interested, but they're not on Google. They're going to be over there on social media. So while social media leads may require more nurturing, there's always going to be a higher volume of them, whereas on Google, you're going to expect fewer leads, but they're going to be much higher quality. Now, some of the ranking factors that ultimately determine how many leads you can expect are as follows. Now, first is going to be your online reputation. If you don't have as many reviews, or if you haven't captured as many reviews in the recent past as your competition has, you're going to be at an immediate disadvantage. The second is going to be answer rate, or how often you answer your phone. Google actually records every single one of these calls, so it knows whether or not you're answering the phone or if it's hitting voicemail. They use an artificial intelligence for this. There's nobody listening to your calls. But if they hear the same voicemail more than once, they demote your ad quality score, which means you pay more for less leads, or you simply stop receiving leads altogether. So be sure to have a good process to make sure you answer your phone. And finally, your hours of operation. If you are not listing yourself as open 24/7 and you don't have a way to answer the phone after hours, I recommend keeping your hours set to the standard hours that you have on your business profile. It's important to understand that Google will not show your ads when you are not available, so set your hours accordingly. And finally, there are two different types of leads on this channel. There's messenger leads and phone call leads. The difference is simply cost and quality. Cost per phone call is going to be about double the price of a message lead. messenger leads just tend to get a little bit more spam. Now, we recommend disabling messenger leads, at least up front. You can always turn these on. However, they do come enabled by default. So if you are receiving a high volume of message leads, just simply disable that. Now, most guys think this is a set it and forget it ad channel, and it's not. You have to manage these ads, and here's how. First thing you're going to do is make sure you're answering the phone when it rings and you're responding to those messenger leads within the first hour. Second is you're going to get as many reviews on that business profile as you can, as often as you can. If you're having trouble capturing reviews, simply jump over to basecoatmarketing.com/reputation. Follow our review capture script here. Next, be sure that you're uploading media as often as you can. Before and afters are helpful, team photos are better, personal family photos are best. We are going for authenticity here. And finally, be sure that you're submitting feedback to Google. So monitor your lead table. As leads come in, be sure to mark them as qualified or not. That's going to let Google know what type of leads you expect in the future. Now, if you're looking for more free, actionable resources like this, head on over to basecoatmarketing.com/learn. And we're very open to feedback. So if we haven't covered a topic or if there's someone you're looking for us to interview, let us know. Now, it's time to go take action. You know what to do. Go do what you know.